Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. I am your host, Jonah Walkenfoos, and today we're going to be doing a mixed episode today. We'll be talking about both the NBA and the NFL. It's just kind of something I want to try out and see what you guys think. But first, let's get on to the intro, so make sure to stay tuned. Hello, and once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode. First off, I just want to say I apologize for not uploading last week. I've just kind of had a lot of things going on, especially with school, and then unfortunately I got sick and it was hurting to talk. So yeah, especially for someone trying to do a podcast, it probably wouldn't be smart to do a podcast if I'm sick when it hurts to talk. But first off, I want to just say, have you followed me on Instagram? If you haven't, you could check me out. You can search up Sports Talk with _JWock3, and you could maybe hit the follow button, and you'll get more news on that. I do post a lot of news on Instagram, so go check out Instagram if you have it. Also, check me out on TikTok. That's been kind of blowing up a little bit. It's called Sports Talk with JWock. Just search that up on the search bar. And I just want to say thank you. My most recent video on TikTok has gotten over 900 views. So that is actually incredible. And I just want to say thank you guys. And if you guys are tuning in from maybe watching my video on TikTok, welcome to the YouTube channel. But yeah, let's kind of get back to, I just kind of want to give you kind of an update on kind of how my life's been. School has been, really getting me busy. Especially since, I'm having to work through it all week. So, my podcast, I'm kind of putting under it right now because I'm kind of prioritizing school a little more just because, I do want to work towards my degree of sports communication at some point, and I want to get it done sooner than later and not just keep on waiting. So yeah, if I haven't been uploading as much, or maybe it doesn't look like I haven't been putting as much effort into it, that might be why. I'm trying to put as much effort into this podcast while doing schoolwork, while also working a part-time job about 4 days a week. So, I'm trying to just put it all together so I can do that, but I'm starting to figure it out more. But like I said, last week was just kind of a fluke because, I was sick, so I kind of didn't want to upload an episode. And I still am a little sick, but I'm doing better. So that's why we're having a podcast this week. But yeah, this episode, I just want your guys' honest opinion because I want to do kind of a mix of both NBA and NFL and kind of combine them into one episode. I didn't know if that would be a good idea, but we're just going to see how that ends up being. So be honest with me. Let me know what you guys think because obviously the NBA and the NFL is going to be going on at the same time. So I don't know if I should mix these episodes or, maybe do one episode NFL and one episode NBA and maybe shorten those episodes and then just upload 2 episodes each week about each sport. So let me know what you guys think. But yeah, let's get into the next topic. We're going to talk about Karl-Anthony Towns and how he has been traded to the New York Knicks. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Okay, so if you guys haven't heard the breaking news, a couple days back, Carl Shams, the NBA analyst, I guess you could say, who's kind of giving all the breaking news now, especially since Adrian Wojnarowski has retired from doing that. He has announced that Karl-Anthony Towns has been traded to the New York Knicks from the Minnesota Timberwolves. So basically, let's give the full details of the trade first, and then I'll give you kind of my honest opinion. So the Knicks receive Karl-Anthony Towns, obviously. Then the Timberwolves receive Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first-round pick. I don't believe they've given out what year that's from yet, or if there's any protections from it, but I will obviously update you on that at some point if they give that information out. And then there was also a third team involved, which I guess was actually kind of the deciding factor as to how this trade can go down. So basically, the Charlotte Hornets were the third team that got involved. They really didn't get rid of much. I don't even think they got rid of anything. I think they might have had to get rid of maybe some draft compensation, but nothing crazy. But in return, they got some salary from the Knicks. They also got Daquan Jeffries and draft compensation. So the Hornets kind of just there. So we're not really going to talk much about them, but we're going to talk about this Knicks-Timberwolves trade and who kind of won and who kind of lost this trade. At first, my first initial reaction was, wow, the Timberwolves just lost this trade. Like, I get it. You got Julius Randle, who's a decent player. I think the hype around Julius Randle's a little too high. I don't think he's like that great, but I do think he's a solid player. They got Dante DiVincenzo, who's going to help tremendously with depth. And then they did get a first-round pick. So the more I look back at it, I really do think both teams won. The Knicks, I guess maybe the Knicks kind of might have had I don't know how to explain this for the Knicks. Like, they broke up the Villanova boys, which I guess is all right. Like, I mean, like, I think some people were excited about it. I didn't really care about it, so that doesn't matter to me personally. They did need a center, but I also think that they could have maybe gone for a cheaper center to not have to get rid of both Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo to get that. I saw there was rumors that, like, Jonas Valanciunas was kind of on their list. I mean, I think they could have gotten a very productive center that didn't cost them as much. And now they're going to have a lot of salary on their starting five, especially with Jalen Brunson. Even though he took kind of that pay cut, I mean, he's still going to be worth a lot of money. Jalen Brunson, we've got OG Anunoby, who has a big contract. Same with Mikal Bridges. Karl-Anthony Towns has a decent contract. Like, it's a little concerning for the Knicks salary-wise when it comes to depth, but I still think they're going to be a decent team. I don't know if this really like increases their ability to potentially make the finals over all the other Eastern teams. I don't think it really changes really anything in the standings for the Eastern Conference. And then for the Western Conference, we look at like the Timberwolves. Like, I'm not sure. I think this actually isn't a bad trade for the Timberwolves because now they add depth. And this also, I've heard there's rumors that this was the only reason why they did this trade was so that they can keep players like Naz Reid and I believe Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which those are two very important players on this Timberwolves team. So honestly, I can definitely see why the Timberwolves did this trade. And I can also see why the Knicks did it because they needed a center. So if I were to give like letter grades to each team, you know, minus the Hornets, because that doesn't really matter. I would give the Knicks maybe like a B minus. Like, I think Karl-Anthony Towns is really going to help them offensively, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I kind of have to see how they're going to mesh together, how all of them are going to mesh. I think he's going to be good, but like, I don't know. It's not too crazy. And then for the Timberwolves, I'm going to give them a B plus. I'm not going to give either team an A. I don't think like this was like a phenomenal trade for both teams. And for the Timberwolves, it's like they just added a ton of depth, which is great for them. And now they're able to kind of work with that as well as kind of making Anthony Edwards the focal point on offense now, which is really what they needed to do. So moving on from Karl-Anthony Towns might have not been a bad thing. So let me know what you guys think. I thought this was a pretty crazy trade, especially we're right by training camp. Like, we are like a couple days away from the first games of preseason. So like, this is kind of crazy to me that we even got a big trade like this, but we did. And it happened. Karl-Anthony Towns is a New York Knicks. So let me know what you guys think and what you guys would grade this trade. Okay, so now we are on to the final topic of this episode, and this is kind of where we go to the NFL now, and we're going to give my picks and predictions for Week 5. Obviously, I couldn't do Week 4. I was going to post it on Instagram, but I just genuinely did not have the time to do that, so I apologize for that. So I'm not going to count any of those against my record because I didn't really do any picks. But I do want to give an update on what my record is after doing, I believe, Week 3's picks. So after Week 2's picks, my record was 8-8. Like, I was 500. I was doing great. And now if I look at this paper, because I kind of tallied all the wins and losses, right now I'm sitting at 13 correct. And let's see, 19 incorrect. That is awful on my part. So I need to do really good this week to be able to get me at least back up to 500 because that is unacceptable for me. My goal is to be at least above 500. Like, I want to be above 500 by the end of the year, and this is a week where I think I could bounce back, I hope. But, I mean, we've seen a lot of surprises these last couple of weeks, and I mean, this is insane. Like, it feels like every single time I pick a team to win, they end up playing awful and end up losing to like a really bad team that's not supposed to win. So let's start going. Let's get right into it. So Thursday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to Atlanta to play the Falcons. The Falcons are a really good team. The Buccaneers are obviously on top in that division, but the Falcons are like, I believe, one game behind. So this is a good team. Tampa Bay, they struggle against they struggled against a good defense in Denver or against Denver. And the Falcons have a very solid defense. Their offense seems to be clicking a little more. They just had a pretty impressive win against the New Orleans Saints. But no, you know what? No, I'm going to give this to the Falcons. I think the Falcons have a pretty decent secondary, and I think they're going to be able to shut down, or not, maybe not shut down, but slow down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver core in Chris Godwin led by Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So I'm going to give this one to the Atlanta Falcons. Then we've got the Jets going to Minnesota Sunday morning. This is the international game. Give me the Minnesota Vikings. The New York Jets, they have a very solid defense. We saw a very sloppy game between them and the Broncos, obviously finishing 10-9 in their loss to my Broncos. But I think the Vikings are going to win this game. I think the Vikings have been rolling lately, and I think they're going to continue to do that. Obviously, they almost choked against the Packers last week, but they ended up, still getting the win. A win is a win, So I think the Vikings are going to win this game. Then we've got the Panthers going to Chicago to play the Bears. I'm going to give this one to the Bears. I think the Panthers, they've been playing a lot better under Andy Dalton, which is crazy to think, but I'm still going to give this one to the Bears. I think the Bears are going to be all right, especially if they could keep running the football. Then we've got the Browns going to Washington to play the Commanders. Give me the Commanders. At the beginning of the season, I would have said the Browns would have won, but the Browns have been in a lot of trouble. Nick Chubb obviously been out. He's been out, which has been a big issue for the Browns, and I think the Commanders are going to come out on top, especially with how Jaden Daniels has been performing. Then we have the Miami Dolphins going to New England. I'm going to give... this is a tough game because Miami doesn't look great because of Tua obviously being out. They don't really have the quarterback situation figured out. I'm going to give this one to the Patriots. They're at home. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Then we got the Colts going to the Jaguars. The Jaguars have not won a game. The Colts, who knows if Anthony Richardson's going to play. I don't know if they've put him on IR or not, or if he's just going to be questionable or not, but I'm going to give this one to the Colts. I think Joe Flacco is just going to continue to do crazy things and help them beat the Jaguars, which I probably will regret that game, picking the Colts that game. But then we've got the Bills going to Houston to play the Texans. The Bills got absolutely worked by the Ravens last week. Give me the Texans. I don't think the Bills are a bad team. I still think they could be a contending team, but this Texans team, I still think they're a great team. And I think the Texans are going to pull out on top of this game. Then we've got the Ravens going to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Give me the Ravens. I think the Ravens have been rolling as of late, especially with Derrick Henry. So that's a dangerous team to play against, especially right now when Derrick Henry's running the football well. So give me the Ravens that game. Then we got the Raiders going to Denver to play the Broncos. This is going to be a battle. The battle of the 2-2 teams. Not really. This is not going to be a battle. I don't know. I don't want to pick against the Broncos again, but I have to. I just don't. Our O-line has been better, but I just don't know if they could guard or go against this Raiders defensive line. So give me the Raiders, unfortunately. I don't even like saying that, but just give me the Raiders. Until the Broncos offense can prove me wrong, I don't know if they can rely on the defense all year. So then we've got the Cardinals going to San Francisco to play the 49ers. Give me the 49ers. I think the Cardinals are probably going to keep it close, but I think the 49ers overall, they've been playing better as of late. So yeah, give me the 49ers. Then we've got the Giants going to Seattle. This is going to be a Seattle win. I really do think so. I don't think this Giants team has proven enough yet, once again. Then we've got the Packers going to LA to play the Rams. Give me the Packers. With Jordan Love back, I think the Packers are going to be able to roll. I think they're upset after that Vikings loss, and I think they're going to be able to come back and beat the Rams. Then we've got Then we got the Sunday night game, and we got the Cowboys going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that defense is going to cause the Cowboys offense some problems, and I think Justin Fields is going to be able to bounce back after their first loss last week. And then we've got the Monday night game, the Saints at Kansas City. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Saints are a good team, but they're not Chiefs good, and I think the Chiefs are going to pull it off. So those are my picks and predictions for Week 5 of the NFL season. Let me know what you guys think down below. Maybe if you agree or disagree on any of these takes. But that's going to be the end of this episode. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. You know, it's just shows great support. Hit the like button. Share this with others. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below, if I should continue to do like mixed sports episodes, or if I shouldn't and I should just stick to maybe one sport and just make the episodes smaller, but multiple episodes in a week. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I will see you guys next week. God bless. Have a great week.